Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of Geek Dad Rankings, the one show where we take a subject and rank it. Pretty simple. It's all in the title. I'm Brian West, the hostess with the absolute mostest.
And I'm Ryan. I have not been swabbed up the nose yet.
You look like a 70s porn star right now with your hair.
Sides of my hair is at least like 2 inches, I think. My son looks like his hair like goes down to like his eyes.
Oh my God.
It looked like he got a mop on his head.
Yeah, quarantine hair has not been good for you, my friend. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it could be. Like I said, if you're
all the people that got to wear hats all the time because they don't have a lot of hair. So yeah, I'm just doing what I can.
Well, speaking of quarantine, we figured since the entire world has been completely shut down due to the 2020, I mean, I guess technically 2019/2020, corona epidemic outbreak catastrophe, we figured it'd be a good time to rank doctors that you'd like to have during the coronavirus epidemic. Pretty simple. We took the top 10 doctors on television. We limited it to that because we figured if you get into movies and books and everything else, there's about 20 billion doctors because apparently, who knew? People love stories about doctors.
And there's people that just call themselves doctor, even though they're not really a doctor.
That's true. I sometimes call myself Dr. West because I'm a doctor of love.
I'm sure you can get a PhD somewhere online, Brian.
Yep, pretty hot and desirable. Right here. Woo! But anyway, we're not ranking how sexy I am on a scale of 1 to 10. Don't answer that. We are ranking the top 10 TV doctors in history. Like I said.
We have curated the best list that you will ever find on the internet. You might as well just toss everything else aside.
Yes, and by curated, I mean me and Ryan have spent days, hours, weeks even, scouring every inch of the internet to find the 10 best doctors that you could possibly ever want during this pandemic. And in fact, we did so much digging that we came up with extra doctors that we're going to talk about in a second, but we couldn't just contain it to 10. We had to give you more because that's what we're here about. We're here to give, here at the Geek Dad Report, we're here to give you more of the things you love.
We're not content to just satisfy you. We want you to just have more and more.
Yeah, we want you to just keep coming and coming and coming back for more. That's what we like. That's what we do here at the Geek Dad Report. We don't ever stop pumping information into you until you are done coming back for more. That said, this list is subjective because it's our list, and we tried to stick to doctors that people had heard of. I'm sure when you're going down this list, you're like, wait a minute, there's a doctor I saw in an episode of Bonanza that's the greatest doctor of all time. Well, great. We don't care about that doctor.
Yeah. So, Brian, are you ready just to dive in on this?
Let's do this. I'm ready. I think we've fluffed the audience enough. We're ready to get to the penetrating list of doctors.
Well, I
don't know if I should throw any more sex puns in this. This is a doctor list.
We're not the kind of, we don't have the doctors that are just going to stand around and, BS with you.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want that. You want your diagnosis and you want to, get in and
every doctor we put on this list has a very specific purpose and skill that we believe could help us, the people, in our time of need during this pandemic. So, like I said, we had a large list. We did have a few that did not make the cut. We're going to talk about those right now. We had a couple alternates, I guess you'd say, first alternates. Some extras.
And I'm sure that we just completely forgot about. That,
to be fair, two of the doctors on our list, you forgot that they weren't in TV shows, that they were actually movie doctors. And in fact, one of them's, I guess, technically a doctor, but. Anyway, so two of the doctors
that we forgot, just let us know in the comments, and we can talk about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, if you guys got doctors you want us to talk about, we're all about it. But all right, so our list. So the first two doctors that did not make the cut, that made our alternate extra list, was two movie doctors, like I said, that Ryan forgot were movie doctors. But they were really good. They were really good submissions to our list. And I wanted to give Ryan his due because he did 17 minutes of hard work. So the very first doctor on your list, Ryan, for alternates is?
Oh, so I did have one doctor that I wanted to make sure I got in, just because he was the funnest doctor, and it was Robin Williams as Patch Adams. And I think that in this time, everybody needs a good laugh.
That's true, but if you are Doc Adams, like, you work with him, you'll probably be shot by a crazy person.
That's true. If you're on a ventilator, you probably don't want to be laughing.
No, not at all.
But either way, Robin Williams was iconic, so I just wanted to throw that one in there.
Yeah. So first one, it's a good submission, Ryan, but did make the cut. Out. All right, second movie doctor that did not make the cut, Ryan, but a much better choice. This would actually have been number one if he could have made the list, but he unfortunately was eliminated due to he's in a movie. Which doctor is that, Ryan?
I don't know, Brian. Which doctor are we talking about? Doctor Who?
No, we're talking about Doctor Strange, Ryan. You need to. You know what? We did like 17 minutes of show prep, and I'm just feeding you these leads, and you're just like. It's like I'm throwing Nolan Ryan fastballs and you're just missing them left and right. What's going on here? All right. Yeah, the second doctor to not make the cut, unfortunately, was Doctor Strange, the doctor, the master sorcerer supreme, and very skilled physician before he busted up his little pinkies and fingers. Yeah. He would be very valuable during a quarantine right now, because not only could he probably just cure whatever it is that you want him to with magic, he could refill your beer all day long. You would not have to even go to the grocery store. And if you did have to go to the grocery store, he could open up a portal to the grocery store, and you could just jump there, grab what you need, and jump back.
He doesn't even need to put on a mask or anything.
No mask. He could put like a bubble around his head if he had to. And if people got too close, he could just do those like ribbon lasso things and just strike out and make everybody stand back. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure his cape would help people be socially distanced very well. So, honestly, Doctor Strange is the ultimate doctor to have during the pandemic, but unfortunately, due to rule violations, he has been eliminated from our top 10 list of doctors. And before you got the wrong one, you did mention Doctor Who. That is also, we thought about putting Doctor Who on the list, but I don't believe Doctor Who is an actual real medical doctor.
Yeah, he's an alien Time Lord. So
yes, I don't know why he's called Doctor. He just rides around in a big telephone booth with like a spoon toy and does things.
Little screwdriver. Whee!
Yeah, I don't know. We are not clearly big Doctor Who fans. I'm sure someone is screaming at us right now, but I'm sorry. Doctor Who did not make the list. Any of them. Not any one of the 39 doctors that there's been is good enough for our lists.
Yeah, still not a ginger.
Deal with it. And then we had one more on the did not. I am not familiar with these doctors, which is why we didn't put them on the list. But Ryan wanted to give a shout out to the midwives.
Yes. So the midwives from Called a Midwife, which is a British show, and you can watch it on Netflix. It's one of my wife's favorite British shows. It's about this group of midwives in World War II area, I believe. And they deliver babies, and they have to take care of like all the babies and everything, and then they have to like go do these house calls. It's kind of one of those British dramas that they do like 4 episodes in a season, and then they don't have any seasons for like 4 years, and then they do like 6 episodes, and then they have 2 year off, and they do 10. I mean, it's one of those kind of shows, but it's really, really good. And my wife enjoys it thoroughly. So I had to add in honorable mentions because you do want someone to help you deliver babies. So
Ryan, this is clearly
all the midwives.
This entry was clearly bought off by your wife, who you are just absolutely just trying to make happy right now with this entry. I feel badly about this entry, and I feel like the entire integrity of our show has been compromised due to the fact that you clearly were influenced by your wife for the selection.
I'm gonna say that I know the show's already been compromised from a lot of different perspectives. So
I will not tolerate such disgusting allegations that you were throwing our way. Whatever. Anyway, all right. Now that we've got the like hors d'oeuvres out of the way, we are diving headfirst into the main course of our top 10 best doctors to have during the quarantine. And number 10, without further ado, Ryan, who do we have as the number 10 doctor on our list?
The most annoying kid that you've probably ever have in your life. And that would be Dr. Doogie Howser.
Now, I'm sure some of you love Dr. Doogie Howser, and you're thinking to yourself, he should be much higher. Yes, he's a 2-time cancer survivor. The kid is tough as nails. Yeah, he became a full-fledged doctor at the age of 14, so clearly he's smart and has what it takes. But I will tell you, as a parent, and a parent who's been in quarantine with his friggin' kids for like 2 months going on 30 years, I have had it with kids. And if I got to listen to one more kid tell me that they know what's happening and they're smarter than me, I'm just going to lose it. So Doogie Howser should have been higher on the list. Don't give a shit. Don't want to deal with him. He's been kicked to the back. Number 10, Doogie Howser.
I mean, he's lucky to at least be on the list. I mean, and like you said, we've had enough of kids. I get my kid, they think they know everything, and it would actually suck to have a kid that actually knows everything.
Oh my God. Dude, we're going through, I don't have all night. All I'm saying is my 7-year-old is going through a phase where no matter what you say or facts you have, she just knows it. She knows everything. She'll look you right in the face and tell you you're wrong, even though you are absolutely not wrong. And I can't have a doctor child telling me what's wrong with the world. I just can't. So there we go. Number 10, Doogie Howser. All right, number 9, moving on. Is a doctor. Well, Ryan, you know what? Why don't you go ahead? Who is number 9 on our list?
Number 9 on our list is the one doctor that if you happen to accidentally have a plane crash on a desert island,
yes,
which may or may not be purgatory, and
be full of demons,
like weird
smoke monsters
that never actually ever get answered. You do want to have a spinal surgeon
in case your spine is magically just hanging out of your neck.
Yeah, and didn't he do like an appendectomy on himself too?
He did, but I mean, not to. Hey, listen, as of right now, we don't know that like exploding spine out the back of your neck is not a corona symptom, but it could be. Who knows? So we keep finding all these new things about corona every single day. One of the new causes and effects could be spine explosion. And in that case, we need the one, the only Dr. Jack Shephard from Lost. Because only he can handle weird, mysterious shit that nobody knows about. Did it come from a bat? Did it come from a penguin? Definitely didn't come from a lab, but definitely came from something weird. Who do you need investigating that and handling all those weird problems but the Dr. Weird himself?
Yeah. If I was attacked by a giant smoke monster, I would want Jack to be there to put Band-Aids on my wounds.
Yes, we have only begun to start this pandemic. We don't know what could eventually happen. Could people spontaneously turn into black smoke monsters? Absolutely. They could be black smoke flying through your neighborhood, and you're definitely going to need a doctor who's an expert in dealing with those kind of things.
Yeah, I could just see because it seems like the way 2020 is going is that COVID's going to become like Goku. We're just going to keep like
powering up. Ooh, what a great reference, Ryan.
The final form of Goku is COVID-19 is that it's just a giant smoke monster that goes around and just kills everybody.
For all we know, murder hornets are going to start becoming carriers of COVID-19 and stinging people. And like I said, if that's the case, then we definitely need a doctor who is here to handle all the weirdness. So at number 9, we have Dr. Jack Shephard from Lost. Moving up to number 8. I almost skipped number 8. But moving up to number 8, we have a wonderful doctor. Wonderful, beautiful, smartest doctor on the planet. Sometimes. Who would that be, Ryan?
That would be Dr. Watson.
Dr. Watson. From Elementary.
She's not British, right?
No, I don't. Yeah, not in this show. This show, she is played by the absolutely lovely Lucy Liu. Why? Well, you would think yourself, wait a minute, Watson. Wait, it wasn't Watson an investigator? Aha, that is true. But before he was an investigator, he was a very renowned doctor. And in the books, in his exploits, he used his medical knowledge to help Dr. Sherlock Holmes solve a ton of things. Well, on Elementary, they did a little gender switch, and it is played by Lucy Liu, and she is also a fantastic doctor who helps Sherlock Holmes solve all kinds of crazy mysteries. So we thought what we need in this time is not only a doctor who who is witty, who could maybe judo kick you in the face because she's an excellent fighter. Maybe if you're not 6 feet away, she could do like a roundhouse. She's very well trained with like batons in that show. She could just stick you right in the head.
Everybody.
If you get a little too close. But no, she is very good at solving mysteries. And with all the mysteries of the coronavirus, plus if she's really like, I need help, she has the greatest assist ever. She can just call Sherlock and be like, hey, Sherlock Holmes, I need help to solve this mystery. And, having a friend like Sherlock is a very valuable asset to have in these times.
Sherlock get out of quarantine, though. Because if Sherlock is in quarantine, then
that's true.
We're kind of screwed. But
that's also true.
But I have not watched Elementary, but I have seen, bits and pieces of the episodes, and she's a very cool character.
She's a great character, brilliant all the time, great detective. And honestly, she's, Sherlock Holmes is a very, very crotchety, feisty individual, so she's used to dealing with a bunch of assholes. And right now, there's a lot of assholes in the world running around just being jerks.
So her bedside manner would be complimentary to any.
So we think Dr. Watson is definitely deserving of being on our list. So Next up, we have a group of doctors at number 7. We did cheat a little bit, a couple of these selections. We couldn't just pick one doctor. Some of the epic doctors tend to all go to one show. There's about 30,000 hospital shows. So we did a few combinations on this list. And this is the first combination that we did. Coming in at number 7, Ryan, the doctors of what are number 7?
Well, it would not be a show or a list of doctors if we did not include ER, which is probably, I would have to say, at least for our generation, I think it's the one show that you can instantly, it's like the first one that comes off the top of your head.
Oh, yeah. If you had to pick a doctor show, you'd pick ER, right? I mean, I would. There's probably another doctor show. A couple other ones I'd pick, but we'll talk about those later in this episode. But ER is probably one of the most iconic. I know there's some older ones, but ER was the one that I think made doctor shows just mainstream, where people are just like, so many stars came from them. I mean, the doctors in ER that you would want during the quarantine, I don't remember all their names, so we're going to say who played them. Goose from Top Gun, he was great until he got brain cancer and died. That sucked.
Even though I think he had it the worst though. Like he lost an arm.
No, that was a different doctor. That was like the one of the lead doctors. He lost an arm, and then the helicopter didn't he crash on him and he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got his arm chopped off by a helicopter blade, and then later, like a couple seasons later, after they reattached and he was having struggles, he saw like a helicopter and had a panic attack and went outside, and the helicopter crashed on him and he died. So basically, if you're on ER, the doctors of ER would have been higher on our list, but they almost all just die. So as good as it would be to have a skilled team of professionals who can handle all your needs during a pandemic, if they're just dropping like flies left and right, I don't know if that's really also very good for a pandemic. So, but hey, shout out to the doctors of ER. There's too many of them to list. Obviously, George Clooney was great, and there's a bunch of other ones, but.
Who would not want to just stare at a young George Clooney?
That's true. I don't even know what he's a doctor of. And he has a tequila company, so... I mean, don't you need a tequila company during a pandemic? I know I do.
Yeah, I'll just let George Clooney administer me all the time.
Yeah, he's the original Dr. McDreamy. And yeah, we don't have Dr. McDreamy on this list because Grey's Anatomy is stupid.
I never watched any of the Grey's Anatomy.
I watched a couple episodes, like thinking it was going to be ER. Because all joking aside, ER was a great show. It combined like the best elements of a soap opera, but like just insane, like high tense scenarios that just always ended with doctors getting killed. I don't know why that was, but so many doctors got murdered and killed on ER. It was just ridiculous. But ER coming in at number 7 because they had some really skilled doctors. And George Clooney and tequila. So, they're in. Number 6 on our list. You know what? We've had some serious doctors here. We've had a crazy doctor who can explain the unexplained. We've had a doctor who's not only an expert detective, she's also a great doctor. We've had annoying teenagers, but we figured we needed a little bit of humor on our list. We had to get somebody in there who not only could help you, but could also make you laugh. So it's number 6 on our list, Ryan.
He's one of the best daydreamers. He has numerous daydream sequences.
That's true, he does. Well, who is this daydreaming?
A really good best friend.
It's true.
And Turk. And so we're going with Dr. Jd Dorian from Scrubs, who starts off as I believe it's a working medical intern or student hospital. So he starts off as a medical intern, and he eventually works his way to become a full-fledged doctor at this hospital. And I do have to kind of give Dr. Cox an honorable mention, who's one of the, it's really good on that show as well. But JD, my wife and I really got into Scrubs. So, it was one of my favorite shows. And it is hilarious. So,
yes.
And he, even though he screws off a lot, and he just shows that he still gets the job done when it needs to be done. So, knowing when to turn off and on the switch, that's a good thing that we need to have in this pandemic, Brian.
And honestly, with everything so depressing all the time, we need just a little bit of happiness and a little bit of things that make us smile. And Dr. Dorian could absolutely do that. So, good job, Dr. Dorian, number 6. Now, moving up to number 5, we have a tag team pair of doctors. Our first duo on our list, the doctors from Nip Tuck, Sean McNamara and Christian Troy, coming in at number 5. And you may ask, why, Ryan? Why did we select 2 cosmetic surgeons who have no skills at all with viruses to be not only on our list, but top 5 of our list? Why do you think we chose that, Ryan?
Well, we chose it because you decided to put it on there, because I have no idea. I have not watched that show at all.
All right. Well, in that case,
zero idea what is good about
once again. Why did we do 17 minutes of show prep? Why did we waste all 17 minutes talking about these doctors if you retain no information ever? Well, Ryan, it's funny you should mention that. The reason why we chose these 2 doctors in our top 5 is because quarantine, if you're anything like me, has been a nightmare of nothing but food shoved in my face, and just depression eating and anxiety-fueled ice cream visits late at nights. And when I get out of this quarantine, I'm going to be about 600 pounds. So I'm going to need some serious liposuction. And nobody does liposuction better than these 2 doctors. Sure, you might get a serial killer that tracks you down afterwards, but hey, small price to pay to look beautiful. Am I right?
That's a good reason.
And not just that, all the worry and stress lines on people's faces. There are going to be a lot of people who need Botox and facelifts.
That's just... So when you're lifting your face, are they just moving your skin back?
From what I know, from what I've heard, is they cut your scalp and they pull your face back and they pull it down here. That's why you see some old guys sometimes that have these little scars, and then they pull it and then they sew it, and then they sew your scalp back on, and your face has literally been stretched.
It's like that. Oh God, what is that one show where the guy had I can't think of it, but. Yeah, I guess that's a good thing to have. I mean,
no, it's a terrible thing to have.
At some point, maybe you want to do the John Travolta and Nick Cage face-off, where you switch faces with people.
Oh, why didn't we pick those doctors? Probably because they had no names.
I'm gonna be Brian today, and then we switch faces, and
yeah, but then you never not want to be me, and I'd never get my face back.
That's true.
It'd be terrible. All right,
and then I get to drive your truck.
Okay, well, listen, I was just looking for some liposuction. You apparently want a cosmetic surgeon to steal my face and my identity. So, kind of creepy. I mean, I'm learning a lot in this episode, Ryan. This is changing how I view you. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, moving on because it suddenly got weird. Number 4 on our list is a trio of doctors. Well, actually, it's more than a trio because there's a whole bunch of them, but. Coming in at number 4, we are going to boldly go where no one has gone before, Ryan. Who are our doctors coming in at number 4 on our list of best doctors during the pandemic.
So it's not. We have to include the Star Trek doctors. I mean, even though they did have extremely advanced medical technology and literal like cell phone tricorders that they just hold and go, oh yeah, here's that.
Oh, you have an enlarged scrotum.
Oh, you got a hairline fracture here. Let me type some buttons. Oh, you're cured now. That was good. Yeah.
You have, I don't know, whatever.
So Star Trek has a lot of doctors. They got, chronologically, they have, oh God, what's the first guy's name? Bolax or something. And then...
Okay, we are not going to deep dive into the nerd
one Star Trek
brain
show
of
to
your
everybody.
Star Trek knowledge. Let's just go over the big ones. There's Dr. Bones. There's Beverly Crusher.
Yeah. Of course, Dr. Bones is the quintessential Star Trek
if we're going to go with a Star Trek doctor, it's got to be him. Terrible bedside manner, but man, he was really good at being a doctor.
Yes.
And he'd just be like...
He is a doctor. He will not take on other tasks.
Nope.
If you ask him to do anything else, he would say, no, I'm a doctor, not a, insert whatever you want me to do.
I'm a doctor, not a lawnmower. I'm a doctor, not a sandwich maker.
Yeah. And then we have Dr. Crusher from Next Generation. Great doctor.
Much more motherly, better bedside manner. Makes you feel comfortable and safe.
Mm-hmm. And she does have an annoying son.
Oh God! Okay, she's out because the kids are out. Who's the terrible doctor after Crusher that nobody likes? So they brought back Crusher.
On which one?
Star Trek Next Generation. She was like an older lady.
Oh, the one that replaced her for like a little bit.
Yeah, they brought her in for a couple seasons, and everybody hated her, and so then they brought in Dr. Crusher back.
Well, she did like some questionable things as a doctor. So.
Called replacing Beverly Crusher. That was pretty questionable. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah. So, and then after Next Generation, we have Deep Space Nine, Dr. Bashir, who was a genetically engineered person, even though that they're not supposed to be doing that in the Star Trek universe.
I forgot about that. Who's the doctor on Voyager? I don't remember the doctor on Voyager.
Yeah, they rolled the dice. The Voyager, they had a holographic doctor who was just the doctor. I think he ended up on the last episode. He decided his name was going to be like Bob or something.
Yeah, and then Star Trek Star Trek. What's the new show? Discovery. They have a doctor who's also can surf the spore universe. I don't know. It's weird. Let's just go with Dr. Bones. We chose the Star Trek doctors in this because any of the Star Trek doctors would show up with advanced scientific machinery and solve your problem probably pretty much immediately. And even if they didn't, they would at least be able to make you feel comfortable, treat your symptoms, put you in a holodeck to spend your last few hours. I'm sure it'd be great.
I think all the other doctors could easily get distracted by a sidetrack of something.
Yeah.
But Dr. Bones would be there to just be a doctor, and he would not do anything else.
I'll say because he's unwilling to do anything else. So, all right. Coming in number 4, the Star Trek doctors. They would be higher up, but let's be honest, none of them are really all that great doctors, except for Bones. Number 3, we decided that if you were going to be quarantined in your house, what better doctor to make a house call than number 3 on our list, Ryan? Who would that be?
Well, you would want, if you had someone who was living in Boston and decided that she wanted to go out west, you would call Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman.
Yes, because
go out into your socially distanced field and woods and find some nice herbal medicines for you.
Well, and she, being an old-timey West doctor, she knows how to handle pandemics. She's probably had to deal with cholera outbreaks, with smallpox, with polio. I don't know, it was polio then, but probably the Black Plague, maybe tuberculosis. Like, she's seen it all.
And like I said, she was more of a botanist kind of doctor, so she'd be like, instead of doing it like essential oils, she would actually get like real stuff that worked.
Which actually makes me think that maybe Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, was the first Uber for marijuana. You called her, and she showed up at your house to give you a doctor's visit and gave you some herbs, and the pain went away because she was in fact selling pot. We just broke open the whole plot of Dr. Quinn Medicine Women, Ryan. Who knew that? But no, I mean, you want a doctor who's used to thinking on her feet? When resources are scarce, like right now, and you can't get 2-day shipping on Amazon, you need somebody who can dig through your weeds and find something to help you with your headache and your cough. Dr. Quinn. Bam.
Yeah. Bam. Number 3.
Yeah.
That's where she is.
Yep, absolutely. So,
and she's very stylish.
And she's just dreamy.
She could probably shoot a gun, too.
Oh, yeah. People get out of hand. You're going to wear a mask around Dr. Quinn. I'll tell you why, because bang, that's why. Boom. Old West, self-defense. Number 3, Dr. Quinn. Moving on up, another doctor that is definitely a rebel who is not going to take no crap from nobody, but it's going to make you laugh. It's our number 2 doctor on our list. Ryan?
Well, I just got to say, number 1 and 2 were the hardest ones to decide.
Not for me.
They could be interchangeable, but we do have to go with the highest rated show ever, I think, still.
Yeah.
And like you said, he can make you laugh, and he was actually a pretty darn good doctor. It would be Hawkeye from MASH.
And when his superiors tell him to lie about the facts, he'd be like, nope, not going to do it because I'm a doctor and I don't care about you.
And he likes to play jokes.
Yep, so, lots of jokes.
Have him around.
But he's worked in MASH unit, and once again, with the pandemic hitting so hard in some places, a lot of people have compared it to like wartime conditions. You really need a doctor who knows how to handle those kind of situations and deal with, hopefully not have to do triage. But hey, you got a doctor who knows how to deal with the hard cases, deal with just lack of sleep, being in tough conditions, all with a smile, all while subverting what authority wants them to do and doing what's in the best interest of his patients.
Yeah. And, he is, oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? He's iconic.
Absolutely iconic.
So, I mean, he spans multiple generations. I think our generation is probably the last one that really knows who he is.
That's true.
But,
it's a sad thing. Hopefully the next generation will find him. I don't know what streaming service MASH will be on, but you should definitely check it out. It was like 17 seasons.
Well, and if you're up late and you're actually watching normal TV and you're flipping through, there's bound to be a MASH rerun on somewhere.
Yep.
So,
and Hawkeye Pierce, the original, great, tough as nails, make you laugh doctor.
Yes.
Which brings us to our number 1 doctor that you would want during the pandemic. I don't even know how to introduce this doctor. He's absolutely the doctor that you would want under any circumstances to solve something, but you may not want him on any circumstances to be around you. And that is the insatiable, the grouchy, the crazy at all times, but incredibly brilliant Dr. Gregory House.
Yes. Even though he does have a limp and he uses a cane.
Yes.
Although I think some episode shows that he didn't actually need a cane. He just kind of uses it.
Well, he used the cane when he was in the he had like some kind of a flesh-eating disease that ate most of his thigh. And he's got a big hole in his leg. That's why he's hooked on Vicodin, and he uses the cane as kind of a crutch, but it does help him stand up. But anyway, that's not why we chose him to be on our list. We chose House to be on the list because that man could solve any infectious disease. Like, he not only is he the best infectious disease expert in the planet, he would have already, if he was a real doctor in real life, if you had him in the coronavirus, he would have already solved the corona problem like weeks ago. Weeks ago.
His whole thing was like figuring out what it is, right? Like his whole thing was you come in like, oh, I'm bleeding out of my nose and I got a twinkle in my eye. And
what is his official title? I don't know. I don't think he's officially. He's like an official, like I forget what his official doctor. Yeah, he's like a rare disease diagnostic expert, but he figures out infectious diseases. He knows what it is. He would have solved it in 2 seconds and found the cure for it and that'd been the end of that.
He can see through, like, if people are just bullshitting, he sees through all the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we just punch our president in the face and then just, like, take over the podium. And then
absolutely. And then we popped a whole bunch of Vicodin, called everybody really bad names, pissed off the entire planet, and then rode away on his horse.
But, I mean, the end result was good. So.
Yeah. Dr. House would have solved this in a heartbeat, and that is what we need currently right now. We need someone to fucking solve this and get us a vaccine or a cure or a treatment or something. I'm tired of being in my house.
So House is our leader that we want at the podium.
Yeah. So. Not only is House the winner because he's the best, I'm tired of being in my house. So, number one, let's get the fuck out of here. God. All right. Thank you for joining us for our list of doctors. Obviously, like Ryan said earlier, if you have a doctor that we missed and you want to talk about it, feel free to hit us up in the comments below. We'd love to continue on the conversation and talk about more about fictional doctors that could make life a little bit better for us right now, because right now life kind of sucks. But hey, we're all in this together. We'll get through it together, and we'll all hang out in the end. But until then, like I said, thank you for joining us. If you got a cool idea for a show that you'd like to give us a ranking of, something you'd like us to talk about, let us know. We're always down for suggestions from the viewers.
Stay good. Be nice to each other.
Stay safe.
Respect your state's social distancing and COVID-19 rules.
Yeah.
And
wear your mask. I've got like 30 of them.
Yeah.
And it'll all be over soon. I mean, it's already May. The year's already halfway over. Well, almost halfway over. And it's all been canceled anyway. So, hey, we got a lot of drinking to look forward to. We got a lot of rehabbing next year that we're going to do. But until then, everyone, stay awesome. And thanks for watching.
And stay nerdy, everybody.